This summer, I got back into Skylanders. More specifically, my favorite game in the series, Skylanders Trap Team. This game introduced two awesome features, the Trap Master Skylanders, which have amazingly designed weapons, and the fact that you can play as villains. However, some villains don't really make that much sense, either don't deserve to be in the game, or have the wrong element. So today, we're fixing Skylander Trap Team villains. Let's go. Let's start off with the life element. In the original game, there were 6 life villains, but in my fixed version, there's 5. Sheep Creep, Chompy Mage, Shield Shredder, and Broccoli Guy all represent the life element perfectly. Sheep Creep is a basic animal, Chompy Mage gives life to the Chompies, Shield Shredder's made out of wood, and Broccoli Guy obviously heals. And this brings us to our first member of the cut villains category, Cuckoo Clocker. I hate this guy. Look how stupid he is. He's supposed to be this big, intimidating foe, but his name is Cuckoo Clocker. Now that I think about it, I'm starting to sound like my 2016 version of myself when I had a fit over the name Pickle.
This is the worst sidekick villain I have ever seen in my life. Green Monster Truck, easy, but his name is Pickle. Pickle.
Next up, the water element. Brawl and Chain, Threat Pack, the Goldberg, and the greatest villain of all time, Chill Bill, will remain as the water element. I've removed 2 of them, and you'll see them later in the video. However, for new villains, I'm honestly surprised that Skylanders didn't add a villain based off of the Kraken. Such a cool monster idea and a great idea for a villain that you can play as. It's getting hot in here. It's time to go over the fire villains. Chef Pepperjack, Grenade, and Smokescream will remain fire elements. But then we move over to Taekwon Crow. I never played Superchargers or Imaginators, but I was shocked when I found out that Taekwon Crow was a fire element Skylander in Imaginators. So what was the point of making him dark element if you were going to change him anyway? And then we move over to our first yellow star. That means a villain changing its element. Why the hell was Bombshell a magic villain? He throws bombs! Obviously, he's a fire villain! All of the earth element villains are perfect, except for the fact that Slobber Trap was not one of them. So, by Skylanders' knowledge, if you spit all over the place, that makes you a water element master. That makes no sense. This thing is a walking, talking piece of the earth. Obviously, an earth villain. Also, Graveclobber was changed to a water villain in Imaginators. Why? Just like the earth element, the original 4 air villains are all good. Everyone's least favorite Doom Raider, Dreamcatcher, is a floating head, Bad Juju makes tornadoes, Buzzerbeak is a bird, and Frankenstein has a vacuum arm. But then we go to Cross Crow, who should have been an air element villain. I want to know who at Activision decided to make Cross Crow water. First of all, he's a crow. And secondly, what happens when you shoot arrows? They fly in the air. Should have been an air villain. Next up, we got Tech. I understand why Water and Life got 6 villains because they're part of the starter pack, but 6 for the Tech element? That made no sense. So as you can see, there are 5 Tech villains that are staying, and they were all Tech villains in the original game. But that brings us back to our cut villain section. We have Bruiser Cruiser, Fisticuffs, and Scrap Shooter joining Cuckoo Clocker. The reason why these 4 villains have been cut is because there are way too many villains that were made out of wood, birds, or trolls operating vehicles. So let's just cut these 4 and come up with some new ones. For the Undead element, Wolfgang, Bone Chompy, and Mastermind are all staying. But then I decided to do some research for these last 2. Evilized Sugarbat and Rotting Robbie. 2 enemies from past Skylanders games that I completely forgot about. Oh boy, the magic element. In Skylanders Trap Team, there are only 3 villains with the magic element. And we already got rid of Bombshell, so only Pinata and Rage Mage remain. Magic is the only element that also did not get a Doom Raider. And there was one literally standing right in front of them from the last game, Mesmeralda. Last night I watched the Mesmeralda boss fight, which I completely forgot about. I still have my copy of Skylanders Swap Force, so I can't wait to fight her again. As for the 4th magic villain, just put a basic wizard, make him do magic attacks, whatever. Just make him a villain, because the magic element needs more villains. The final 2 elements are light and dark. These are basically DLC elements, so they deserve to have the least amount of villains with 4 each. For the light elements, all 4 from the original game make sense to be light type, and then moving on to the dark type. Nightshade and Ice Cream stay, but Hoodsicle should have been a dark type from the start. It's a dark type in Imaginators, so yeah. And then finally, Chaos. Honestly, Chaos deserves to be trapped in a dark trap more than the Chaos trap. But Chaos trap still works, I guess. Wow, I just realized it's been 9 months since I made a Google Slides presentation YouTube video. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss some epic content when I feel like posting. See ya.